I want to talk to you guys about Theodore Herzl and why he was evil. First off, I want to tell you guys about a horrific massacre that took place in the year 1876 in the town of Batak. The Ottoman Empire butchered the entire town. Why were the Ottomans so enabled to commit so much cruelty and bloodshed with little to no resistance? Because the people of Batak had no weapons. Why didn't they have weapons? Because the Ottomans went to the mayor of Batak and told him to tell the people to lay down their arms so that the Ottomans could confiscate the weapons. And that's exactly what happened. And once all of the weapons were confiscated, the entire town was exterminated. Everybody in that town was either beheaded, impaled, or burned alive. And, of course, this is the Ottoman Empire we're talking about here. There was a massive amount of raping that was going on. It was just horror. Absolute horror. And the mayor of the town, the very one who the Turks got to convince the townspeople to allow the Turks to confiscate their weapons, the mayor of the town was also brutally murdered. They plucked out his eyeballs. They pulled all of his teeth out. And then they impaled them. And they impaled them in a way in which they could still keep him alive while he was impaled. And as he was suspended from this pole that was impaling him, they started a fire and they burned him alive. That's how they treated the mayor who did their work, who convinced the townspeople to drop down their weapons. And so the people were completely defenseless. They had no weapons. And in came the Bashi Bazouk. The Bashi Bazouk were irregulars who were recruited by the Ottoman Empire. And they were usually recruited amongst the Albanians. But these Bashi Bazouk were part of... They were Polmaks. Polmaks are Muslim Bulgarians. So Muslim Bulgarians were butchering Christian Bulgarians, like Croats killing Serbs, or like Bosnians killing Serbs, or like Albanians killing Serbs. So this is where Theodore Herzl comes in. Theodore Herzl was going to help start a massacre of Armenians. He was trying to enable, really, a massacre of Armenians. He went to the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, and he told him that he wanted to bring the Jews back to Israel, because Theodore Herzl, being he's one of the most famous figures of Israel's history. Why? Because he is considered to be the pioneer of the creation of the modern state of Israel. He is considered to be one of the masterminds of Zionism. And Theodore Herzl went to the Sultan, and he told him that he wanted to bring the Jews back to Judea, to Palestine. And Palestine was under the control of the Ottomans. And so he wanted the Ottomans to sell land to the Jews so that the Jews could come back and they could revive Israel. And the Sultan told Theodore, I can help you out, but I want you to do something for me. I can back your Zionist idea, but I want you to go to the leaders of the Armenian resistance and convince them to lay down their weapons. And Theodore Herzl attempted to do this. He went to the Armenian resistance leaders and he told them, the Sultan says, lay down your arms and nothing will happen to you. Who repeated that lie? Ahmed Aja, the one who told the Bulgarians through their mayor that if they laid down their arms, nothing will happen to them. They will be unharmed. And that very evil, malicious, and deceptive lie was told through the lips of Theodore Herzl to the Armenians. And the Armenians didn't listen to him. They told him to get the hell out. And for good reason, because if they had listened to Theodore Herzl, they would have ended up just like the people in Batak. And this is why I say Theodore Herzl was evil, because he knew exactly what he was doing. Because everybody at that time knew about the savagery and sadism and cruelty of the Ottoman Empire. He knew exactly what would have happened to those Armenians if they laid down their arms. And has Israel changed at all? Look at the war between the Armenians and the Azeris, which is really a war between the Armenians and the Turks, because the Turks want to resume from where they left off back in World War I when they were doing the Armenian genocide. The Turks want to do another genocide, and they have been doing ethnic cleansing in Nagorno-Karabakh, driving out all of the Armenians from that region. And who backed the Azeris? Israel. Who is one of Azerbaijan's greatest allies? Israel. Israel supports the Turks against the Armenians. Has anything changed? Has anything really changed? And you see these horrific videos coming from Nagorno-Karabakh from after the war that happened back in 2020. Elderly people being beheaded, people being executed. It's horrific. It's horrific. And these are atrocities done on a smaller scale. On a smaller scale in comparison to what the Ottomans were doing back in the 18 and 1900s. And these are all signs. These are all signs of greater atrocities to come. Because the Turks want to bring back the Ottoman Empire, and they want to resume from where they left off back in the Armenian genocide. And people say, oh, that's not true, that's not true. Then why in the hell were the Azeris committing atrocities in Nagorno-Karabakh in 2020? And why do they continue to kill Armenians? Last year, they went into Armenia. They went right into Armenia's borders, and they killed Armenian soldiers. And I remember hearing this story that took place. These Azeri soldiers, they killed this female Armenian soldier, and they cut her breast off, and it was horrific, absolutely horrific. And these are atrocities that are presaging signs of greater atrocities to come. And the Azeris identify themselves as Turks. They see themselves as no different than Turkey. They say Turkey and Azerbaijan, they are one nation, two different states. And Azerbaijan is just the bastard child of the Ottoman Empire, a bastard child of Turkey. And they're doing the bidding of Turkey. They're doing the work of Turkey. They are a proxy of Turkey because Turkey, through Azerbaijan, wants access into the Caspian Sea. And from there can go into Central Asia because Turkey has this grandiose vision of being the leader of the entire Turkic world, including Central Asia. That's where most of the Turkic peoples of the earth live. Theodore Herzl supported the Turks, tried to convince the Armenians to lay down their arms. Theodore Herzl was trying to enable another massacre of the Armenians. And has Israel changed? You see Israel supporting the Azeris against the Armenians. And I think in the future, Israel is going to reap what it's sowing. And eventually, I think Israel is going to suffer tremendously. The Bible tells us that 2/3 of Israel is going to be destroyed. Who's going to be doing all that destroying? I think Turkey is definitely going to start a bloodbath in Israel. Anyway, you guys just heard some theology. God bless.